This has Oiler fans fired up after a huge divisional win against the Vegas Golden Knights yesterday afternoon at Rogers Place, and lots of interesting discourse coming out of this one. But folks, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do so. If you're part of the 18% that have subscribed to the channel, we'd like to thank each and every one of you. But if you're part of the 82% that not have subscribed to the channel, folks, what are you waiting for? For any and all Oiler news, this is the place to be, and yesterday was the place to be at Rogers Place. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, as yes, the Vegas Golden Knights were up 2-0 in the season series so far up to this point yesterday, before yesterday's game against the Edmonton Oilers, but the Oilers making it 2-1 with a huge 6-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Yes, normally the Oilers, not a very good record in afternoon matinee games, but yesterday they showed out in a huge way in the first period there. Nugent-Hopkins making it 1-0 off of a nice drop pass from Connor McDavid on the power play. Of course, the first period was in intense, very tight checking, what you would expect from both of these clubs, but the Oilers broke it open in the second period with 4 goals there from Zach Hyman in his office. They're right in the crease. Connor Brown getting on the board again from a nice 2-on-1 pass from Leon Draisaitl and a huge block from Vasily Podkolzin to set that one up. I mean, it doesn't happen without him there. And then Leon Draisaitl from Darnell Nurse and Matisse Janmark. Of course, Matisse Janmark almost missed Leon Draisaitl on a partial breakaway, but folks, the Oilers still got that one done. And then Corey Perry with his 6th of the year, making it 5-0 Oilers. And up to this point, you think, oh man, they are running Vegas right out of the building, as Jack Michaels likes to say on the Sportsnet telecasts. But Vegas made it very interesting up to this point of the game, halfway through with Victor Olofsson all alone in front from a nice feed in behind of Stuart Skinner, making it 5-1, and then Ivan Barbashev makes it 5-2 before the end of the second period. Of course, that one was called no goal on the ice to begin with, and then there wasn't even a challenge. The refs, huddled together and saw there was no goaltender interference from Mark Stone. When it came to Stuart Skinner, they found that Stuart Skinner had enough time to get set up to make the save, and he didn't make the save, obviously. And then in the third period, folks, it started to get a little more interesting than what you would expect for a 5-2 game. As you can see there, Stuart Skinner mishandles the puck behind the net, and Brett Howden makes it an easy 5-3 game. And at this point, I was like, oh my goodness, collapse of a lifetime is happening. We've seen this multiple times with the Oilers before, with the Ducks in 2017, and then the Jets in 2021. You can see there in the top left on the Sportsnet graphic, you could think there, oh, what is going on here with the Vegas Golden Knights having a plus 18 goal differential in the third period. Of course, they were down to the Winnipeg Jets in the third period and tied that one up. So I was thinking, oh man, is this happening again? But no, Jeff Skinner puts the insurance on this one. Jeff Skinner bailing out Stuart Skinner, making it 6-3 Oilers and a 6-3 Oiler win. Now, before we get into the analytics side here, folks, diving deep into the numbers, there was an incident in the second period of Jack Eichel and Mattias Ekholm that left Oiler fans sort of questioning what is going on with the officiating around the NHL, and just they are lacking consistency when it comes to hits from behind. You can see there Jack Eichel and Mattias Ekholm battling in the corner, and Jack Eichel sort of cross-checks him, and Mattias Ekholm takes a nasty dive into the corner boards. Now, of course, Mattias Ekholm wasn't seriously hurt on the play as he got up to join the scrum afterwards, which made me think that's exactly why Jack Eichel didn't get anything on this at all. Of course, Jack Eichel did go to the penalty box, and there was a TV timeout, and then he was let out. And I guess the refs didn't see anything monumental there that decided for him to get a 2-minute cross-checking, roughing, hitting from behind, boarding, call it what you want. It should have been at least 2 minutes. I mean, some folks were calling for 5 in a game, which, if it was, a lot closer, you don't know, but of course, Vegas and the refs. I'm not going to say, folks, but I am going to say it. And of course, even Oiler fans were on Twitter here just voicing their displeasure. Profano here says, even Eichel knew it was a penalty. As you can see, they're going back to the hit. After Eichel takes the hit, he kind of stands there going, what did I do here? But of course, nothing led to that at all. And, even fans of other fan bases, like the Vancouver Canucks, they were sort of wondering the same thing. Like, how is that not a penalty? It's pretty ugly when Canucks fans are on the Oilers' side here when it comes to this Quinn Hughes hit on Josh Norris. It was pretty much the same thing. I mean, a cross-check into the boards. Of course, Josh Norris stayed down a little bit longer than Mattias Ekholm, but still, nonetheless, that's a cross-check into the boards. That is not much different from what Jack Eichel did, and of course, Vegas and Edmonton having a very heated rivalry. These teams won't see each other again until April 1st, so both teams could look a lot different up to this point. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about that hit. Do you think it deserved 5 in a game? Do you think it deserved 2? Do you think there should have been more discipline for this one? Of course, many were calling for discipline on Ryan Hartman after the Minnesota game, but Evan Bouchard was in the lineup. Forgot to mention that Evan Bouchard was a game-time decision, but he did play yesterday afternoon, and he didn't look any worse for wear. And of course, Mattias Ekholm, he was asked about it after the game. He said, "I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The explanation I got was from referee Francis Chiron, said he didn't think the cross-check was that forceful. I kind of look at the whole picture. Obviously, I think it's a penalty. I just know that if I were to do that to somebody and get 2 minutes, I wouldn't say a word about it. It's a dangerous play. Going head first into the boards, it's not very comfortable. I've had Francis for a ref for a long time. I respect him, but I think that he missed a call, and that's going to happen. And that's going to happen, of course, with refereeing, they're not going to be perfect, but, a little consistency within the whole reffing community in the NHL would be a little nice, but of course, that's never going to happen. They're the only the only league where the rulebook changes from game to game. But going into the numbers here, Vegas peppering the Edmonton Oilers with 41 shots on goal. It's not too often you see the opposition pepper the Edmonton Oilers like that, but in the end, Stuart Skinner saving their bacon, of course. Also, Vegas cooking the Edmonton Oilers on the faceoffs, winning 10 more, 38 to Edmonton's 28, but the one power play Vegas didn't score on. Of course, Edmonton continuing their dominant penalty kill, with the Oilers going 1 for 2 on the power play there. Of course, very tight checking in the first period. You expect it to be, a low-scoring game with 6-3, 9 goals combined between the two. I am not surprised at all. And you can see there with the advanced analytics, there the Vegas Golden Knights, again, all over the Edmonton Oilers. I thought the Edmonton Oilers were good up until, halfway through the second period. They were up 5-0, and then they sort of, took their foot off the gas, and then Vegas, being Vegas, almost clawed their way back into this one with a Corsi percentage for the Vegas Golden Knights of 60% compared to Edmonton's 40. Again, normally in these games, it's the other way around. It's the Oilers, walking all over the Golden Knights, but this time, the Golden Knights, of course, it's not about, the analytics, it's about how many goals you score. And the Oilers, of course, outscoring them 6-3. But, it's something like this for the Oilers. They have to look at the game tape and realize, for, tight checking games for playoff contending teams, they have to just be a little better. Of course, I say that after they beat Minnesota 7-1. But as the calendar gets closer to April, the more intense things are going to be, and this is a nice check for them to sort of realize where they are at this point of the season. And of course, with the team they have, they can always get better. You can see the hockey stat card, Leon Draisaitl continuing to do Leon Draisaitl things. I mean, this is just a monster in disguise, and also, the heat check continues for Darnell Nurse and Brett Kulak. But as you continue to go through down the graph here, of course, Troy Stecher, a bit of a rough game for him. I mean, not the worst game. He took that, interference call that could have led to, a Vegas goal. Sort of stopped him on that one, but of course, you don't expect, the world out of Troy Stecher. But other than that, the Oilers, other than, taking their foot off the gas, I didn't think they played that poor of a game in the slightest. Again, very tight checking, and they didn't allow, Vegas to do a whole lot more than what they did yesterday. Of course, Vegas hit 3 posts, but that didn't count, again, in the slightest. But Stuart Skinner here, a .927 after yesterday's game, continuing his dominance in the month of December. Of course, I've showed the chart of his save percentage in his advanced analytics throughout the months, the calendar months of the season. December, very strong for him, and that continues to be one of his strongest months to play in. As you can see, the 38 saves on that potent Vegas offense. So the Oilers will need that to continue Monday night in our What's Next segment. Yes, of course, the Oilers on Monday Night Hockey on Prime up against a familiar face that they saw last June with the Florida Panthers. Of course, Amazon with that NHL documentary series on Amazon Prime, so it's only fitting that they get the rematch between the Panthers and Oilers. Of course, their first matchup since, unfortunately, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and the Panthers' first visit since Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, where the Oilers managed to claw their way back to force a 3-3 series tie. Of course, the Oilers, not the best record on Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey, as they have not only not won a game, they have yet to score a goal. Of course, the first meeting between the New Jersey Devils and the Edmonton Oilers on Prime Monday Night Hockey The New Jersey Devils shut out the Oilers 3-0 with Jake Allen in net, and then Samuel Montembeault shut out the Oilers also by a score of 3-0 on their home ice. So of course the Oilers still yet to score a goal on the streaming service. Hopefully they do so. As you can see there, the last couple of games, they've been very strong on the offensive numbers, so hopefully they continue that stretch there. The only 2 L's in this chart here against Minnesota in Vegas, the Oilers got the revenge, and pretty steadily as well, losing 5-3 to the Minnesota Wild and getting the revenge by a 7-1 win, and then losing in that very tough 1-0 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. But of course, Stuart Skinner getting his revenge. Lots of W's and not a whole lot of L's, so that's great to see for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's hope they keep this up on Monday night against the Florida Panthers, and after that they have another Atlantic showdown against the Boston Bruins, and that's always a good one when Boston comes to town. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about yesterday's game, and again, what did you think about the Ekholm hit? Make sure to subscribe, folks, and folks, have yourselves a fantastic Sunday and a great start to the week. I'm Matt.